What is up, everybody? Alex106 here, and today we're going to continue talking about the Assimil8or and its MIDI expander, the Locutus module. Today we're going to focus on using CV inputs to create CCs to control effects and parameters inside of our DAW. So we have covered a little bit about using Locutus's MIDI input to control Assimil8or with external devices, and today what we're going to talk about is its MIDI output. So we're actually going to be sending CV into the Assimil8or, and Assimil8or will basically convert that into MIDI CCs that we're going to take out and control our DAW. So you can do this with any sort of hardware as well. The CCs are pretty easy to understand which ones are which. I'm going to go through that. But yeah, we're just going to control some things in the DAW. And for me, this has been a pretty fun experiment because I love the Assimil8or and I love using its individual outs to go into filters, but a lot of times I feel like I don't have enough filters or I don't have enough space. And with just using some offsets to control filters inside of the DAW, I basically can add as many as I want. So I don't have to buy any more filters. I can just use the ES9 to get the audio into the DAW, and then I can use these, what I'm using is these 410 offset modules to control it. So yeah, let's just dive into it. So first things first, I'm just going to press play and show you what my whole patch and what the song sounds like right now. And we can hear right away that like chord needs some filtering. I'm going to go ahead and stop the bass line because we're not going to mess with that right now. And I'm going to add some filters to this guy right here. So I'm going to add two filters onto here. I'm just going to duplicate this one out. We're going to make a high pass and a low pass. Very similar to if we were using an overseer module, right? We can kind of dial in that sound. And so now what we'll do is we'll set up our Assimil8or. So all we have to do to set up the MIDI input is go into MIDI Setup. So normally what you see when you go into this is CV in jacks with an arrow going to the left. And what this means is that it's just expecting CV on the jacks, and that's going to control things inside of the Assimil8or. When we go to the right, you start seeing CC numbers. And this is basically the CC number that you're going to replace that CV input with. So CVA you can replace with an incoming CC. But if you go further down the road, we can see the arrow will switch after we get through velocity and things like that. We can go through and the arrow switches now to the right. And this means that it's going to transmit CCs from the CV inputs. And we've got 0 to 5 volt settings. And then we've even got negative 5 volts to 5 volts, so bipolar settings. Because I'm using the 410s, we're just going to stick with the 0 to 5 volt settings. And so now to figure out what CC you are transmitting, it's pretty easy. You just go into, I'm going to go down to C because we don't want to use CVA for this. We want to use CVC. And we're going to see right here, you can see TX, that means transmit, right? I mean 16 plus. So that means that we're going to go CC 16 and then up 8. So 16, 17, 18, and so on our MIDI CC numbers for the CVs. So if you're trying to connect this to a piece of hardware and you have to actually map them, that's how you're going to know what CV inputs become what CCs. So pretty simple there. You can go up into 24, so 24, 25, 26. Go to the next one, that's 104, so 104, 105, and so on. And then we move on to 112, and then we get into the bipolar ranges, so 0 or negative 5 volts to 5 volts. That's going to do the exact same thing until we get to 0 to 5 multi. And so now what multi is we've got 16. You can see that just says multi 16. So now we've got MIDI channels 1 through 8 on the jacks, all CC 16. So CVC right now, if I had it set like that, every single CC is going to be, or CV input is going to be turned into CC 16, but then the correlating channel on Assimil8or is going to go to the correlating MIDI channel. So I hope that makes sense. And so what we're going to use for this demo is we're just going to go back to 0 to 5, and I'm going to do 24 plus because I have B set up on 16 plus, and I'm using that one here. So you can, you can do tons of, basically each one of these can become a MIDI CC. So you've got tons of options there. So yeah, I've got that set to 24 now. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to take an output of our 410 here. We're going to run it into CVC1 and CVC2. And so now I'm just going to map these to my filters here. So I just got to click on the map button here, click the filter that I want to map or the parameter I want to map to, and move that fader. Same thing here. Boom, we are ready to go. So I just move this fader and I have mapped those. So in the DAW, you can choose your max ranges as well. So I'm going to go through, make sure I map that one there. And I'm going to say on the high pass, the highest I really want it to get is probably around like 10K. And then the lowest on the low pass that I want it to get is probably, I don't know, let's try like 200 Hertz. So let's see what that sounds like. Let's press play. And then here's my high pass. So now if I grab these together, I've got a nice little bandpass, which is one of my favorite things. All right, so super simple, as you can tell, just like a MIDI controller, it works really well. It works super fast. LFOs, you can throw LFOs in here, you can throw envelopes in here, lots of awesome things. So now I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna grab one more filter, because I want to do kind of a modulated filter on this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to map, at first, I'm just going to map the, I do need to plug another cable in here into this 410, it's output, and then I'm going to go into this guy. There we go. So now, oh, whoops, I didn't do that right. I got to delete that. I want to just go to the power button. So I'm going to turn this filter on and off with this fader. So that's pretty easy there. And then for this one, I'm going to use that Volterra that I already plugged in. So that's output for this Volterra. All I have to do is hit select, turn the knob, and now that one is there. So I'm going to press play again here, turn this on with this fader, and then we're just going to record some Volterra information. And we probably need to change this guy up. So we'll do 0 to 5 volts again, and we'll just do 1 bar pattern here. It looks like we got that, so we can record some knob movement. There we go. So now we have a modulated filter that Volterra is moving for us. We can turn that on and off. And then we've got the bandpass filter ahead of that. So I'll turn down that resonance just a tad, turn down the resonance on these a tad. And so now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to map this one to the delay. So we just need to grab one more cable here. We're going to take that out of here, plug it into number 4, and click there. And there we go. Now we've got a delay send on that channel as well. So I can do that amount there. Add the rest of our stuff. Mute that vocal. So as you can tell, it is super easy to just map CVs into here. I'm going to add a ton more things when it comes to my rig. I'm probably going to do some master effects and add some of these offsets to control different filters in other channels. But just for the video's sake, I think we can stop there. Pretty simple to set that up. So I hope this inspires you on how you might be able to use this in your own rig. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. And yeah, we will see y'all next time. Peace.